How's it going, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're returning from a previous video, I appreciate you coming back. And if you're a first-time viewer, I appreciate you clicking on this video. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a revisited breakdown of my friend's plate carrier setup. Reason why I'm coming back to this is because the setup has changed a lot since the last time I went over it a few months ago. So today's video is going to be going over a setup, what stayed the same, and what has changed. So without further ado, let's begin. The plate carrier itself is an AR500 Armor Testudo Gen 2 in multicam. These retail for around 212 bucks on their website, and it's their flagship plate carrier, and they're labeled as full featured. What that means is it could hold any size plates you want. It is a one size fits all, and the Cummerbund is the full Velcro and Molly Cummerbund. So back to the one size fits all thing. What that means is on the inside, there's some straps that help make your smaller plates sit high up in the plate bag, and those straps could be loosened depending on the size of your plates. The problem with a one size fits all is that if you're running smaller plates, you're gonna have a bunch of excess fabric on the sides and on the bottom of the plate bag, as you do right here. So as you can see, there's a bunch of excess fabric that's just loose and unnecessary on this plate bag, whereas with something like an AVS or JPC, where you have that dedicated sized plate bag for, say, medium plates, that's going to hug your plates and you're not going to have that excess fabric like you do here. However, this allows you to switch between small and medium plates or whatever plates you've got without having to have multiple plate carriers or cramming say medium plates in your small JPC, which can be a hassle. So that's what it means by one size fits all. Now we'll get into the setup itself. We'll start at the top with the shoulder pads. The shoulder pads, these come with the plate carrier. They're very thickly padded with a bunch of spacer mesh. You can see that's about 1/2 inch, maybe more spacer mesh there. That's good for kind of keeping the plate carrier somewhat off your body, and this also kind of wicks sweat. However, that is a bunch of padding, so that will also kind of create a little bit of bulk. And the whole plate bags are lined with that too. So everything that's touching your body, except for the Cummerbund, is lined with that spacer mesh, which can be a pro or con, depending on how you look at it. Now, down on the front here, we've got a American flag front and center. Going off to the left side of that, we've got a carabiner looped through the Swift clip adapter here. This is good for mounting gloves or anything like that. It's good to have a carabiner somewhere on your kit, especially when you need to, like, say, touch a screen and your gloves don't have the material that allows you to. You could just clip your gloves on here so you don't have to, like, stuff them in a pocket or something like that. Going off to the right, we've got a push-to-talk mounted via hair tie. The hair tie is nice because it's a lot like shock cord. They won't snap like a rubber band, and it holds it tight to the plate bag, unlike an alligator clip. Alligator clips are strong, however they're really bulky and push the push-to-talk off your plate bag, whereas with this shock cord here, it hugs it to the plate bag and creates the least amount of bulk as possible. So that's a nice little feature. I do that on my JPC too with the hair tie. Going into the admin pocket here, this is a lot like Cride plate carriers. Got a Velcro admin pocket. In here he's got a map folded down as small as it can be. He's got a little shock cord loop. This is good for creating chem light bundles, tying things together. If something breaks, you could loop it together. These are just nice to have, and they weigh pretty much nothing. You could adjust the loop size just by untying that knot and retying it to however tight you need it. Down there, he's got a map marker here, and in the very bottom, he's got a chem light whistle. This will do everything you need a chem light to do, but it also has that capability of a whistle if you need to make a very loud noise. That's everything he's got in here. However, he's got a small little piece of Velcro here, preventing the full adhesion of the Velcro. This is nice because if you've ever tried to open these admin pouches with that full Velcro adhesion, you know it's a very big hassle, and it's really hard to do sometimes. So that Velcro just allows it for a very quick and easy open, which is a nice feature he's got on here. Up here, he's got the cable for his push to talk. Starts down here, goes through the molly, goes up, and he's got a little quarter-inch piece of one wrap here, keeping that snug to the plate carrier, and routes up through the shoulder pads and around to the back, which we'll get into later. Going down to the front of the plate carrier, we've got an ATS Tactical Gear triple mag pouch holding 3 magazines of ammunition. This is pretty common across most plate carrier setups, is the 3 mags. It's pretty slick and low profile, and it allows you to carry 3 mags of ammunition in a very accessible spot right on the front of your plate carrier. Going back behind this, he's got a small, low-profile pair of med shears. These are way smaller than your big, bulky ones you see most of the time, so they're nice and out of the way. However, they may not cut as well, but it's got its pros and cons, right? Like everything. Less bulk may not cut as well. So that covers the front of the plate bag, except for right here. These AR500 armor plate carriers have a kangaroo pocket or a second admin pouch here at the bottom behind the Velcro field here and molly field. So you could throw your inserts in here if you wanted to rock a magazine insert. So if he needed 6 mags, he could throw an insert in here and he's got 6 mags. If he needed a couple pistol mags, he could put a pistol mag insert in here. He could throw some more general purpose stuff in here, some admin stuff. But right now, he's just got nothing in there to minimalize the bulk. Opening this up, it's a simple pull the tight cummerbund. So you just grab the cummerbund and cinch it down to however tight you need it via the Velcro here. The whole molly on everything on this vest is Velcro, which is mainly for the cummerbund, so you could just cinch it however tight you need it, and that Velcro molly will still interfere with this on the flap. Off to the left here, he's got a tubes adapter. So what this allows is, so whenever he needs to don and doff the plate carrier, he doesn't have to lift this flap up and pull out the Velcro. He's just got a quick and easy first spear tubes mounted right here, which is nice. This allows you to get in and out faster, as well as not having to rip this big thing open and have that large Velcro tear. So this is a nice little mod he's put on here. It's tucked into the molly on this end and then just Velcroed in here. And it seems really strong, works really well, and gives you the tubes capability on what would otherwise be a Velcro cummerbund. Now we'll keep going around the cummerbund here. We've got a ATS Tactical Gear EOD slider pouch, which he's using as an admin pouch. Opening it up, he's got a Write in the Rain for writing any notes he needs to take or drawing any sketches. Right here, he's got a flashlight cover. This will change it from being a white light to a blue light, so it makes it a little bit dimmer and a little bit harder to see. He's got 3 pens, a Sharpie, a red pen, and a black inked pen. Then going further down in here, he's got one of these pocket multi-tools. It's got a bottle opener, a saw, a bladed edge. So it's a nice small little multi-tool, and it's very flat. It doesn't take up really any space. In here, he's also got a signal mirror put inside a plastic bag so the mirror doesn't get scratched. This is also another nice piece of signaling equipment. He's got 2 zip ties for tying things together. Zip ties are very useful to have, especially having a couple spares. So he's got some of those in there. And the last thing he's got is a compass, which he's got tied down via one of these S-clip carabiners here to the shock cord on the outside. So he could bring this out in front of him and use it. And then if he drops it or needs to quickly pull out his rifle, he could just drop it and it's still attached to him and he doesn't lose his compass. So this is a nice little feature he's got on here. The carabiner slides around the shock cord, so it'll pull out in front of him, or when he stows it, pull it off to the side. So that's a nice little thing he's done there. to keep his compass on him. Going around to the other side of the cummerbund, we've just got one pouch on this side, that being the Army issued double 5.56 mag pouch. Inside it, he's just got one mag right now. However, if he needs to, he could plus up to 2 magazines. He could throw a smoke grenade in here. There's a lot of capability with these pouches, which adds a lot to your plate carrier. But right now, he's just got one mag. And if you didn't even need it, you could just pull that down, and it's nice and out of the way. So this is a nice pouch that adds a lot of capability. And it's mounted right off to his support side. He is a lefty with a rifle, righty with a pistol. So his mag pouch here is mounted on the right side of the vest, which would be his support hand. Now, going around to the back of the plate carrier, we've got the other end of the push-to-talk cable looping through the shoulder pad and going down behind his Emerson gear replica of the Cry 1.0 Turtle. Reason why he's got this and not a real Cry one is Cry stopped making these and they're really expensive, so he's just got a replica on here. But Emerson Gear is a pretty reputable company with some of their stuff, and it's official multi-cam and all that, so it works pretty well. Right now, he's just got it attached via the Molly snaps. However, most of the time, he's got a Cry zipper adapter. That's just not on here right now. Going into the panel itself, on the front of this Velcro field, he's got a 6-cell elastic retainer here. These are good for batteries. However, out on the outside of the plate carrier like this, I could really only imagine shotgun shells out back here, just because like batteries would fall out. Whereas if you had this in, say, an admin pouch, the batteries fall out of the insert. It's just loose in the pouch. So really only thing I could think of is like a shotgun shell or maybe chem lights. He could rock some chem lights back here. Something that has a thicker top so it won't fall out of the inserts. And then above that, he's got a small 2-inch by 1-inch American flag there in full color. So it's small, so it's not a huge piece of color, but it's still a way of identifying. Inside this zipper pocket here on the front, he's got a second tubes adapter, just in case the one on the front breaks, because tubes are made out of plastic, and plastic can crack and snap, so it's nice to have a spare tubes here, just in case that one breaks, he's not screwed. So that's nice. That's all he's got right there. Opening the panel itself, he doesn't have anything in here right now, but you could hold quite a bit of stuff in these panels. The only thing he's got in here right now is his maps. So he's got even more maps tucked into that sleeve right there. And that's all he's got. He keeps his hydration in this little sleeve back behind the pouch. And then unsnapping this panel, we will get to his radio. So, right here, we've got his radio pouch, which is mounted dead center on the back behind the back panel. So this back panel protects his radio from getting hit or smacked or anything, helps keep it protected. One problem with rocking your radio back here is you can't reach it with your hands, so you'd have to rock a KDU system around to the front of the plate bag in order to change channels, if you needed to change channels. However, if he doesn't need to change channels, that back panel will prevent any knobs from being turned or anything like that. So this is a good system if you don't really need to change channels on your radio, if you're just using one net. So he's just got an Eagle Industries radio pouch here. It's a nice pouch with his antenna or push-to-talk cable coming down through the molly and into the radio pouch. So there's one last thing to go over on this, and that is the cummerbund. So how they design this cummerbund was to be a pull to tightness. So you just pull the cummerbund to however tight you need it on the front of the plate bag, and that is how you tighten it. However, with the first spear tubes, that would make it so this cummerbund would have to be all the way out over here to be tightened all the way. So how we fixed that issue was with the help of some zip ties. So pulling this through the back sleeve here, it's a little jank. So here we have the mounting system. We have the two ends of the cummerbund zip tied together like that. Normally there'd be about that much more material of elastic, which now is folded up and replaced with these two shock cords, which keep the cummerbund closer together and minimalizes the amount of cummerbund he's going to have to adjust on this side of the plate carrier, because he loses half of that capability with the tubes. So that is how he came around that issue. It's a very smart way to do it, just using a couple zip ties. And if, again, something happens and the zip ties breaks, he's got the two spares in his admin pocket here to replace them. So that about sums up his setup. It's pretty good. It does everything he needs it to do, and it does it well. And that's all your plate carrier needs to do. So I hope you all enjoyed this video and found it entertaining. And as I started in my last video, at the end of my videos, I'm going to read off my new public subs. So my last video, I had a long list because I just started. And in between that video and this video, I got 2 new public subscribers, those being Certified Civilians and Alex Tald. I appreciate both of you. I appreciate not just you, but also everybody. I appreciate you for subscribing, or just watching these videos all together. I hope you enjoy them, hope you find them entertaining, and as always, hope you all have a great rest of your day.